Welcome, everyone, to Bluefield, Virginia at the Dome for another edition of Bluefield College Rams women's basketball here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us for a fresh start to the 2018 year. Hope you guys had a great Happy New Year celebration just a few days ago, but we're ready to have basketball here again on the hard court. The Rams have not played since December 11th. They're 7-6 with a 4-4 record, but trying to shake some of that rust off after having a win against St. Andrews down in North Carolina and hoping to open up the new year with a win against a struggling Union College Bulldogs team that's 6-7 and a 3-5 record in the AAC. Gotta watch out on the Bulldogs side from Logan Calvert, the 5'11 freshman from Louisville, Kentucky. She's a player that averages right around 15 points per game and could be a battle down low with Kiera Bell-Lanier and Autumn Hash. Deanna Crockett also getting a start for Bluefield College. Danae Cox leading the way for the Rams, scoring around 15 points per game, leading the Rams in scoring and always dishing it out. Hannah Preservati, the Princeton, West Virginia native, getting the start as the one today for Bluefield. In the middle, it'll be Logan Calvert and Kiera Bell-Lanier, the Richmond native, ready to go to start 2018 off with a bang. Tipped back and hauled in by Autumn Hash. Rams going right to left here at the Dome in front of a sparse crowd because of winter break. Working the ball around the perimeter. Tiana Crockett in the left wing. Pops it back up to Preservati. Works it right side. Cox arcs a three from the wing. Back iron, no good. Loose ball under the basket. Who was it off of? And it went off of Autumn Hash trying to haul it in for a rebound. Well, Union College coming off of a loss. Head coach Tim Curry in his 17th season, also the athletic director for Union College. Taking the ball up now, it's Annalena White. Works it over on the right wing, over to Brooke Hammonds, another freshman to watch out for. Top of the key, Jordan Sandifer. Bounce down low into Calvert, hoping for separation on the left side of the paint. Spins, hook shot, no good. Luke's ball under the basket and powered out of bounds by Brooke Hammonds. Freshman from Pennington Gap, Georgia, or Virginia rather, and Bluefield will start out with another possession now with 9:16 left to go in the first quarter. Taking the ball up across midcourt, Deanna Crockett hoping for some sort of momentum to really gain in 2018 as Preservati works off a screen on the right side, picks up her dribble, zips it out to Bell-Lanier, kicked the ball, and picked up by Sandifer. Outlet pass up to Johnson, Euro step, layup, and a basket scored for Annalena White. 2-0, 8:55 remaining first quarter, and we already have an and one to start out. Oh, White making her 13th start. A 70% free throw shooter. Going for the old-fashioned three-point play and sinks it nothing but net. Union College wearing the black jerseys with the orange letters and kicking up a full-court press all ready to start out this game, leading 3-0. Bluefield struggling to get the ball across the timeline, and they do. Preservati with a hard pass to Hash in the left corner, pops it back out to Cox. Right corner three, front iron no good, and a rebound for Annalena White. 3-0 the score for the Bulldogs as White feeds down low to Calvert, swatted in the air by Bell-Lanier, the first block for the big player out of Verona High School. Here's Preservati gallivanting across the middle of the court. Now Bluefield looking for their first basket. 3-0 the score. 8:20 remaining first quarter. Bounce left wing over to Crockett. Cross-court pass to Cox. Off a screen, starts to shuffle down the left side of the lane. Her pass tipped and intercepted by Katrina Johnson. Outlet going the other way for White. Steps into a layup and gets it to fall. 5-0 Union already with the first 2 minutes elapsed. You can already see the Rams, even though they don't have that much inexperience on the floor, they almost have had a month off without any live basketball. So now it's 5-0. As Danae Cox zips it over to Preservati in the left wing. Hard pass down low to Bell-Lanier. Puts it on the deck. Spins, goes up for the shot, but she walked in the lane. That stutter step and hesitation for Kiera Bell-Lanier really brought her to that travel as now White will take the ball up once again, the senior from Frankfort, Kentucky. White on the right wing, lobs over to Johnson. Further down in the corner, pops it back up top, working around the perimeter over to White. Ball over her head, right over, and Sandifer with that pump fake move on Crockett. Bluefield able to draw a travel there on the great defense. Well, Corey Mullins did have some optimism heading into the 2018 end of this season. Got to talk with him right before Christmas time, and he really wanted his team to really step it up defensively, a team that really has prided themselves upon slowing down possessions for other teams as Crockett lobs it over into the right wing end for Preservati, zips it back down in the lane. Bell Lanier with a step and a score on the left side of the basket to get Bluefield on the board. 5-2 now the score, 6:54 remaining in the first quarter. Hard drive by Johnson in the right side. Prayer of a layup, bangs off the glass and goes through the nylon. 7-2, a 5-point lead for Union College. Well, Crockett, the only freshman on the floor for Bluefield, hands it off to the redshirt junior, Danae Cox. Around the horn over to Bell Lanier on the right wing. A hard step on the left side of the basket. Feeds Hash and misses the shot on the right side. A rebound for Union. Long outlet down the floor to Hammonds. Her step into a layup falls. And now it's 9-2 with a timeout taken by Corey Mullins in Bluefield. Rough start for the Rams here. 6:21 remaining in the first quarter. We're going to be right back with more BC Rams basketball on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Back here at the Dome, Bluefield down by 7, 6:20 remaining in the first quarter. The full court press really anchoring on by the Bulldogs as Preservati shuffles down the far sideline, gets it back to Bell Lanier. Open lane, down to the basket and fouled on her way up. And she'll have 2 shots. First team foul for Union. That's going to put Katrina Johnson in the books. And now Bluefield down by 7, or rather, Logan Calvert will get the personal foul called. As Bell Lanier, the left-handed free throw shooter, eyes the 10, arcs up her shot and misses. So still 9-7, 6:10 remaining here in this first quarter of play at the Dome. In front of a pretty sparse crowd, Bell Lanier with a couple of dribbles in her white jersey shoots and scores to make it 9-3. Bell Lanier has all 3 points for Bluefield so far. A long lob down to Calvert. Pump fake and a foul on her way up for a 2-pointer on the right block. She'll go to the charity stripe for 2 shots. 6:04 remaining first quarter. And for Bluefield, the rust really is there. There's Logan Calvert, the freshman. Eyeing the rim, wearing her number 35 jersey. Sinks the first one. Right around 15 points per game. And for the Rams, they have more experience down low with Kiara Bell Lanier and Autumn Hash, 2 upperclassmen. So the second shot falls for Calvert. Make it 10-3, or rather 11-3. So an 8-point lead for Union. Bluefield with the same lineup in. Now Crockett taking the ball up. Gives it right back to Preservati. Angles right side over to Danae Cox. Hash at the top of the key. Feeds Crockett left wing. Hoping for help. 20 on the shot clock and an off-the-ball foul called offensively. And that's going to be on Kiara Bell Lanier under the basket with a push-off. Back into the game for Bluefield for the first time in 2018. Emily Hart, the sophomore from Independence, Virginia. And now a substitution, Cheyenne Stidham, the junior from Whitesburg, Kentucky, fresh point guard for Union. Off shot under the basket on a bounce, picked up by Danae Cox. Going back down the floor, 11-3 the score. Bluefield down by 8 with 5:37 remaining here in this first quarter. Preservati zigzagging her way on the right side, feeds over to Cox, almost stepped into a shot but returned it back to her point guard. 15 on the shot clock, under 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Hand off to Bell Lanier in the right corner, zips it back to Cox, top of the key, off of a screen, steps into a tray, and sinks it. Nothing but net. First three of the night made by Danae Cox to make it 11-6. Going back down the floor here, Stidham, a hard pass in the left wing over to Katrina Johnson. Now in the corner, it's Brooke Hammonds. Backing down the baseline, Preservati forces her to retreat out of the arc. Hoping for help, finds it in Hammonds. Pops a pass down low over to Wilson. Her hook shot off the glass, no good. Rebound Danae Cox. 11-6, 4:50 remaining in the first period here at the Dome, with a few more fans starting to step in. Danae Cox shuffles into the left wing, hands it off over to Bellinier. Chest pass back up top to Preservati. 15 on the shot clock. Preservati open lane and blocked by Chelsea Wilson, but a foul called on the left side of the basket. So the first foul of the night called on Charis Wilson from Paris, Kentucky. So a couple of shots for Hannah Preservati, one of the leaders on this team. A Middle Tennessee State transfer, bringing some D1 experience. Her first shot from the charity stripe. Too hard as it bounces off the flange of the back of the basket. A couple of substitutions. The senior in, Adrian Goodlett, as well as Haley Turman back in for Bluefield, the sophomore from Laurel Spork, Virginia, as Preservati sinks the second shot off a bounce. 11-7, the lead is down to 4. Bluefield starting to pick up offensively. Here's Stidham zigzagging the ball, loose on the right wing, but picked up by the point guard off of hard defense from Danae Cox. Zips it back over to Brooke Hammonds. Chest pass on the right wing over to Sydney Dishman now, backing into the lane. Tipped by Emily Hart and stolen away by the sophomore. Bluefield on a run. Hart zigzagging her way down. Loops it back over to Goodlett. Pops a pass over to Turman. Long two in the corner. No good from the right side. Rebound for Stidham. 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter, as Union College led this one by as much as 8. Bluefield now on a bit of a run, down to 4. Hard pass down low, backing into the lane. Hook shot, back iron, and somehow rolled through for Brooke Hammonds. Getting a basket, making it 13-7. Here's Adrian Goodlett shuffling in front of the Union College bench. Dangerous pass over to Emily Hart as Bluefield sets up a perimeter offense. 20 on the shot clock, 3:30 game clock. Emily Hart in the left wing. Returns back top of the key. Now passes over to Preservati. Hard pump fake over to Adrian Goodlett. Lost the ball, rolling near midcourt, and corralled by Emily Hart. Long lob to Preservati in the right wing. 3 on the shot clock. Turman turns to Preservati. Shot at the buzzer. No good, off the right end of the rim and bouncing into the corner. So no shot clock violation, but Bluefield, because of that loose ball in the lane, had to hurry for a shot, and they didn't get the one they wanted. 3:08 remaining first quarter. Bounce pass up to the new point guard, Cheyenne Stidham. This Union College team hoping for their 4th win in the AAC. Stidham goes down into the corner, lobs it left wing over to Dishman. Bounce down low to Wilson, and it was kicked by Emily Hart. So it looked like that could have been a Bluefield turnover, but instead Emily Hart got a boot on it, and now substitutions going in. Turning into the game, Katrina Johnson and Nanalina White, the starters. Bounce hard in, off the glass, and a basket falls for Jenna Mills. 15-7, the lead is once again 8 for Union. Here's Hannah Preservati jogging over onto the far side. Almost lost the ball, as Union really is kicking up that half-court defense. Here's Danae Cox spinning her way down. Pops a shot from the right elbow. Back iron, no good. Rebound Wilson for Union. Here's White sprinting down the far sideline for Union. Back down the lane, cutting into the right end. A layup, no good, but a foul called on her way up to the basket. First foul on Emily Hart, team 4th. So almost into the bonus, as White will go to the charity stripe once again. First shot, high arc, and just bounces off the front of the rim. 15-7 the score, 2:22 remaining in the first quarter. Second shot, nothing but net. Perfect one from the charity stripe to give a 9-point lead to the Bulldogs. Well, Bluefield really has to get some sort of offense going. That Union defense has been tough for Corey Mullen's team. Preservati parked out near midcourt, fires it over to Turman, zips it back over to Goodlett, and a handoff to Preservati in the right wing. Cox from the top of the key. No good. Swirling around the cup. Loose ball. Wrestling for it. Emily Hart off the head of White and picked up on a loose end by Goodlett. Back out to Cox in the left wing as the scrum ended for Bluefield. 1:53 remaining in the first quarter in a pretty warm Dome Gymnasium in Bluefield, Virginia. Now it's about 11 degrees outside, but they have the heat really turned up in here. Danae Cox back to Turman, fires a three, swirls around again. No good as White corralled the rebound on the left end of the basket. On a full-out sprint and transition, down low, swings it back out over to Dishman. Almost lost the ball on the right wing. Bounce tipped by Haley Turman, almost stolen, but a foul called on Bluefield before that on Haley Turman on a push-off. Turman got that hand on the ball, and it was almost picked up by Emily Hart for a steal. Now it's 16-7. Got to remember, that was the 5th foul on Bluefield in the first quarter. So a couple of shots ensuing for the freshman from Kentucky. First one, good for Wilson. 10-point lead, 17-7, and really a game that you should see on paper Bluefield should really have came out a lot better than they have here in the first quarter. Second shot falls for Wilson, and now Calvert returns to the floor. 18-7, an 11-point deficit Bluefield has to come back from. Not shooting well in the first period of play. Here's Emily Hart shuffling her way across the middle of the floor. Bluefield with Danae Cox, Goodlett, Preservati, as well as Turman on the floor. Pass tipped out of bounds as it was intended for Adrian Goodlett. Bluefield will have an inbounds play on the far sideline right near midcourt. Turman taken off and the low presence once again restored for Carabelle Lanier. Slap of the ball and a hard pass out to Preservati. Lobs it on the left wing to Cox. Stutter step, cut to the basket, but blocked by Jenna Mills on the left end of the basket. Well, Danae Cox with a good stutter step. Had a lane to go, and then Jenna Mills said not today. So Bluefield with an inbounds pass to be taken by Shekinah Huggins. An hard slap of the ball again. Huggins zips it back out over to Danae Cox. 8 on the shot clock, a minute game clock. Cox, step back, cut into the lane, Euro step, and her pass stolen away by White. Lob out on the left end over to Katrina Johnson. Zips it back out to White in the left corner. Going around the horn now. Under a minute to go, 19 seconds on the shot clock. Cross-court lob over to Skylar Bird. Bounce pass picked away in the lane. Off deflection by Carabelle Lanier. Outlet down to Goodlett. Sprint to the basket. In her layup falls to give Bluefield their 9th point of the contest. 18-9 the score. Just about 2-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Union's bench kind of silent now as Bluefield starting to get into it. Top of the key. Lob over to White. Left wing three. Swish. 21-9. Large lead for Union. Huggins taking the ball up after the tray falls for White. Goodlett under pressure. Turns it top of the key to Cox. Now Huggins back to Goodlett from the elbow. Air ball, and now it was tipped out of bounds off of the hands of Emily Hart with 2.2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Kendall Cloninger brought on for the final 2.2 seconds of play. It'll be an inbounds pass for Skylar Bird. Long pass down the lane to White, going up for the buzzer, and the layup falls. Bluefield fell asleep as the Hail Mary was perfectly executed to Nanalena White to make it 23-9 right at the buzzer to end the first quarter. Tough first period for Bluefield, and we're going to be right back with the second quarter here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Back here again, 23-9 to start the second quarter. Bluefield not shooting well in that first period as Union really has brought it on. Hard step to Katrina Johnson, lob out to Stidham in the left corner. Or Stidham, rather. Now a bounce in the lane for Calvert. Going up for two and fouled once again by Kiera Bellanier. First foul of the second quarter, and Kiera Bellanier's second of the game already as Logan Calvert will go back to the charity stripe. She already sank two to start off. Calvert, the player, managing to score right around 15 points per game, and she bullets one in for the first free throw to fall. Makes it 24-9. And Corey Mullins kind of stunned right now with what his team has shown here in this first half. Calvert, bend of the knee, shoots and scores with her second free throw. 25-9. Bellanier taken off. Autumn Hash returning to the court after Bellanier books her second foul. The intensity really has not been there for Bluefield, and you can see that long break definitely hindered this team so far. A lot of time to come back, though, as Hash rips it back up top to Adrian Goodlet. Lob down low from Huggins, picked away by Union. Here comes Hammond over to Stidham. Shoots for three from the corner. No good, but a good rebound by Hammond under the basket. Spinning out, looking for a layup, and blocked by Shekinah Huggins. Hash trying to step out of a double team, picked up by Stidham. No good, under the basket once again. A rebound by Emily Hart. Ugly basketball ensues with about a minute elapsed here in the second quarter. Emily Hart with a hard step finds Autumn Hash. Open three for Cloninger. Too hard, and it's bouncing right into the hands of Stidham. 25-9, 8:50 remaining here in this first half. Katrina Johnson with a hard bounce to Logan Calvert, but before that she stepped with that left brace on her knee. She walked. 8:47 now. Bluefield hoping for some sort of offense to really matriculate here in the second quarter because nothing happened in that first quarter. Danae Cox really not getting the shots that she's used to having, right around a 30% three-point shooter. Has sank one already, but has missed two. Huggins stepping into the top of the key, lobs it back out to Goodlet, steps into a three from the left corner. No good, under once again to Ress. Looking for a rebound, Taylor Dinges, but Autumn Hash poked it out of bounds, so it will stay with Union. 8:28 left to go in the first half. Another missed tray for Bluefield. Here's Stidham zipping her way down into the right corner, lobs it back out to Dinges with a hard step, finds Calvert, launches a three, once again sinks it. Union pulling all the stops. They lead by 19. It's 28-9. Shekinah Huggins takes the ball across midcourt, launches a pass over to Adrian Goodlet. Cloninger under some sort of defense, almost lost the ball as Huggins picked it back up near midcourt. 12 on the shot clock. Here comes Huggins straight down the lane, lobs it back to Cloninger, right corner, puts it on the deck. Her flare no good, tipped around and a rebound by Taylor Dinges. Shots not falling for Bluefield as Sandifer has it in the right corner. Hard defense from Emily Hart. Bounce down low to Autumn Hash. Pivot step for Calvert. Picked up her dribble. Looking for help. Bounce over and a layup falls for Taylor Dinges. 30-9, and Corey Mullins calls a timeout with 7:26 remaining in the second quarter. Rough game for Bluefield as Union has gotten everything to fall. Welcome back to Bluefield. Tough first half so far. 30-9 with just about 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Rams are shooting 18.8% from the floor. That's a large stat compared to what Union's shooting, 66.7%, as they have hit 10 of 15 shots. Nanalina White for Union already has 11 points. That's more than all of Bluefield. And then another player in a good scoring column, Logan Calvert, who recently just sank a 3 with 7. Bluefield going back down, though, right to left. Danae Cox working the ball back to Emily Hart. Full court press is on for the Union Bulldogs as Preservati lips it back out over to Emily Hart. 20 on the shot clock, 7:15 on the game clock as Preservati looks at the basket. Feeds over to Danae Cox out of a double team, steps into the corner, picks up her dribble, lobs it back out to Hash, works it to Cloninger. Cross-court pass over to Hannah Preservati, 5 on the shot clock. Danae Cox off the screen, top of the key, angling her way at the left elbow, looking for someone as Emily Hart missed the 3 at the buzzer. That was possibly a shot clock violation, but the referees say she got it off. Here's Stidham at the top of the key, trying to poke the ball loose to Danae Cox, but the point guard for Union picked it up and lobbed it over to Taylor Dinges. Bounce down into Wilson, who's another player with a good presence down low for Union. Stutter step, lost the ball, picked away by Cloninger. Bluefield on a break. Here's Danae Cox, left side of the basket, and fouled on a step, and the left block. She'll be shooting 2. 30-9 the score. Bluefield just hoping to get into double digits. Danae Cox first trip to the charity stripe. Now Corey Mullins shouting for his team really to play with intensity. Seems like they're asleep right now as Danae Cox takes an ugly free throw and it bounces wide. Crockett back on the floor, Cloninger off. And White also red hot coming back on for the Bulldogs. Meanwhile, that foul, the first one called on Cheyenne Stidham. Second shot for Danae Cox, rattles through, and Bluefield's in double figures. It's 30-10. Well, the Rams need to kick it up offensively. Lob back out up top once again. It's Taylor Dinges. Round the horn. Dinges again in the right wing. Good defense from Danae Cox. Lob down low to Wilson. Spins, looks for the basket. Back iron, bounces left over to Emily Hart for Bluefield. A little over 6 minutes remaining in the first half right now as Hart is now commanding the Bluefield offense, taking the place of Hannah Preservati. Might function as the 2. Cox with a hard Euro step. Prayer of a layup somehow falls through, and finally getting some applause from Corey Mullins. A hustle play for Bluefield to make it 30-12. Lead is down to 18, and something invigorated with Bluefield after 4 points have fallen. Good pass down to Wilson. Hook shot really bad off the left side under the basket, wrestling for a rebound. White went down, and now a tie-up. It will stay with, or rather it will go to Bluefield. Wilson taken off and Calvert back on. 30-12 the score. Here's Crockett. Feeds it back over to Preservati, dancing across midcourt. Good defense from White. Bluefield has to get those good shots down. Emily Hart backs into the lane, returns top of the key to Crockett, launches a 3, back iron, no good. Bouncing into the hands of Calvert. Outlet pass, it's errant, picked away by Preservati, and a great steal for the Bluefield point guard. Now Preservati wearing number 22 in that white jersey, steps into a tray, rattles it in. 30-15, and Bluefield on a bit of a run has cut it down to a 15-point lead here with 5:04 remaining. Timeout called by Union. We're going to be right back with more basketball here at the Dome. After a quick timeout from Tim Curry, Bluefield returns to the court. 30-15, 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Trina Johnson almost lost the ball near the free throw line, went down to the floor, and a tie-up will go the way of Union. Corey Mullins and the Bluefield defense really wanted some sort of travel call. But instead they said it's a tie up under the basket. White on the left end, pops it in, and the shot falls for Hammonds from the left side. And one with a foul, 32-15. So for Brooke Hammonds, the freshman completing the old-fashioned three-point play, and now it is 33-15. The lead back up to 18. Three for Preservati on the right side, bouncing into the corner, no good. And Bluefield once again taking an ugly-looking three with 4:40 remaining in the first half. Haley Turman on for Bluefield. Adrian Goodlet, the senior, back on for the Rams as well. It'll be an inbounds pass coming up for Union. Over to Calvert, out of pressure, finding Hammonds. Down the floor go the Union Bulldogs. Annalena White off a hard defense from Danae Cox, 4:30 remaining. White, hard step, finds Calvert and kisses it off the glass to make it 35-15. The lead is now 20. Danae Cox taking the ball up. Bluefield on a bit of a run after the timeout from Tim Curry. Union with a whole fresh, really perspective on this game. 4:09 remaining. Preservati launches a three from the corner, bounces away, and a rebound for Sandifer on the left side. Picked away by Danae Cox, though, a steal, and now going to the basket. And this one might be a bad injury as Cox now favoring her right knee. This might be tough for her to try to get up, and now got up on her own accord and will limp off. Staying live here, 35-15. The clock stopped at 3:59. And Bluefield already struggling to find any shots to fall, but from a basketball perspective, if Danae Cox is taken off here, it'll be even tougher for Bluefield to try to get back into this one. Cox really flailed back on that right knee and just bent it backwards in really an unfavorable fashion. 3:59 remaining in the first half. Inbounds pass for Crockett and wastes no time to find Hannah Preservati. Bluefield with a fresh shot clock, 3:55 remaining in the first half. Hands off Hart, right wing, dribbles top of the key, passes over to Crockett. Off of a screen, angles on the right side, into a double team, steps into the lane and draws a foul after trying to pass it out to Hannah Preservati. So now an inbounds pass for Preservati and Bluefield. Third team foul for Union. Slap of the ball, hoping for help. Zips it over to Goodland in the right wing. Over her head, lobs it on the right corner to Crockett. 25 on the shot clock as the freshman steps into outside of the arc. Preservati shuffles back top of the key from the left elbow, crosses back over and passes to Crockett on the right wing. 12 on the shot clock. Crockett hoping for help, finds it. Preservati left wing, 10 on the shot clock. Preservati eyeing the ring, spins, looking for a layup and fouled by White for Union. So now Corey Mullins talking it over with his team. Meanwhile, that's White's first foul. Preservati going back to the line, her first shot. Nothing but net, 35-16. And that's something that we've seen Corey Mullins do early in the season that he really hopes he doesn't have to do with his team. Kind of a mild-mannered guy, but when that team did not show the intensity as Preservati missed her second free throw, it just kind of triggered the coach to really start to try to fire up these Rams. Back with possession, 35-16 the score, into the lane, backing the ball back out. Sydney Dishman lost it. Calvert finding Jenna Mills, steps into a three and sinks the tray from the left corner. 38-16, the lead is 22 for Union. Crockett hoping for help and finds it. Preservati, hard step, cut back on the right side, lobs it back out to Crockett. Goodland now in the left wing, bouncing down the right side of the lane. Contested layup, no good. Tipped by Hart, but picked up by White. Going down the near sideline, zips it over to Calvert. Bounce pass, or rather a jump step, and going up for two, she was fouled on her way to the basket. 22-point lead, 2:30 remaining in this first quarter. And a tough game for Bluefield after this long break. Got to remember, they have not played since December 11th. Now Logan Calvert eyeing the rim, and with her right arm rattles home another free throw. Into the game for the first time in this one, Bluefield calling on Brittany Holman. Crockett taken off. Haley Turman also back on. Second shot for Calvert. Too hard and bouncing off the front of the rim. 39-16. Large lead for Union as Emily Hart sprints into the right wing, retreats back out, and passes over to Hannah Preservati, calling for a new offense with 2:20 remaining in this first half. Hart, cross court on the left side, pops it back out over to Holm. Now from the elbow, Holm, no good at first, but bounced through as she comes in and gets her first shot to fall. Holman, excuse me, to make it 39-18. Tough game for Bluefield as a shot is launched by Dishman from the right wing. Putback doesn't fall for Jenna Mills. Under the basket. Goodlet wrestling for it and feeds it back up top to Preservati. Trying for a break as Preservati angles her way down the right side. Layup doesn't go. Tipped out of bounds. Bluefield ball. Now it looks like Tim Curry really is cycling in this Bulldogs bench a little bit more than Corey Mullins has peered into his bench. Calvert taken off, inbounds pass over to Goodlet. Over to Preservati, a pump fake, works her way on the right side. Goodlet decides to take a three, bangs it off the rim, no good. Tipped around, a rebound for Jenna Mills, one of the younger or older players on this team, rather the senior from Barberville, Kentucky. Dishman walks into the right wing, and it's picked away by Hannah Preservati. Point guard on a break down the right side, bounce over to Emily Hart, and fouled on her way to the basket with a 1:17 remaining in this first half. Sydney Dishman getting the foul that time, the freshman from Helenwood, Tennessee. 39-18, her first foul, team fifth, as Emily Hart smashes the first free throw. It's good, 39-19. Now the referee just making sure everything's fine. Substitution going in. Cheyenne Stidham coming back as Dishman taken off of the floor. Trying to cut it down under 20. Emily Hart with her second free throw gets it to rattle through the nylon. 39-20 the score. A tough first half nearly coming to an end. As White walks the ball across midcourt. Over to Stidham, pops it back over. Now a long lob down low to Wilson. Returns back out to White. Hard pass to White, or Mills rather, and tied up under the basket. Tipped out of bounds with a minute left. The Bluefield will have it off of the tie-up, 39-20. Adrian Goodlet lobs over to Brittany Holman, who's already sank one shot. Taking the ball across midcourt on the near sideline. 55 seconds remaining. Here's Preservati. At the top of the key, shuffles in the left side and finds Holman on the left wing. 17 shot clock, lob over to Preservati. Zip down low to Hash, going up for the layup and missed on the right block. Rebound for Stidham, 40 seconds remaining in the first half. 39-20, 19-point lead for Union. Stidham with a tattoo and all on the right side. Over to Jenna Mills, steps into a tray, bangs it once again, and a miss, but Emily Hart lost the ball and just knocked it with her knee out of bounds in the right corner. That'll stop the clock at 27.5 seconds here in this first half. White, lob out to Stidham in the right wing. Emily Hart trying to distract the point guard. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds remaining in this first half as White backs it up near midcourt. Looks like Union will try to wait for the last shot here of the first half. Already leading by 19. White now walking over onto the far side of the court. Turns top of the key, off of the screen. Cross-court lob to Stidham from the left wing. Good three. No good. Rebound Goodlet. And that will do it for the first half. Not the best one we've seen out of the Dome Pros. 39-20. 19-point lead. Union up on Bluefield here in the first game of 2018 in Bluefield, Virginia. We'll be right back. That's Pat and more here at halftime on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Halftime here at the Dome, a tough one for Bluefield. It's 39-20, just about 6 minutes remaining in this intermission before we get back to action in the third quarter for the Bluefield women. Now the men's warming up because that game will go on about half an hour right after the conclusion of that women's game. Bluefield, the big telling stat, only shooting 22% from the field, while Union shooting 54% from the court, 13 of 24. Leading the way, 2 players in double figures for Union. Annalena White with 11 and Logan Calvert with 10. Bluefield's leading scorer, Danae Cox, with 6 points. She's hit 1 free throw and 1 3-pointer, just 2 of 7 though from the field. And really a tough game for Bluefield all around, as Hannah Preservati right behind her with just 5 points. The rebounds really not falling for Bluefield as well, as a total getting out-rebounded 16-9 so far in this game. And as far as turnovers go, Rams also not doing a great job in that aspect. Actually just with 6, but not able to capitalize on the 9 turnovers that Union has handed them. Shots need to fall in the second half, and Bluefield down by 19 really has to get something started and get it started fast. When we come back on the Rams Digital Sports Network, 39-20 here at the Dome. Just about ready to start the third quarter here in Bluefield. It's 39-20, and we are underway. Union going right to left to start out this second half. Annalena White leading the way for the Union Bulldogs with 11 points. She has the ball at the top of the key. Pops a pass down to Katrina Johnson, and it's tipped away. Picked off by Hannah Preservati. Lob over to Danae Cox on the left wing. Steps into a shot from the free throw line and rattles it home to start out the second half. So now it is 39-22. Danae Cox obviously feeling better. Thought she had a bad knee injury as Johnson bounces into the lane and has a hard foul called on her as Autumn Hash just banged her down into the hard court. Going back to Danae Cox, though, it looked like that could have been a serious knee injury, especially of how she screamed when she went down to the floor, but back in the game. So Autumn Hash picked up her third foul. Meanwhile, that free throw falls for Katrina Johnson, the sophomore from Pineville, Kentucky. Now it's 40-22. Johnson slipped up. 18-point lead, 9:24 remaining. Second free throw, good. 41-22. Bluefield really has to get those shots to fall. Danae Cox taking the first one. Looked like a play that Corey Mullins had drawn up, and it worked. Hannah Preservati working her way in the left wing. Cox, left corner three. Bounces away. Offensive board, Bellinier. Bouncing into the lane. Off the glass, doesn't fall. Tipped around, rolling on the right side, and on an effort trying to get the ball up, Danae Cox punched the ball out of bounds. Going right back over to Union, 41-22 the score. Here's White jogging into the left side. Anchors a pass on the right over to Brooke Hammonds. Back up top to Sandifer, almost lost the ball. 8:50 on the game clock. Hammonds back over to Sandifer, zips it down low to Katrina Johnson, and she is punched out of bounds on the shot by Kara Bellinier. Bellinier with a couple of fouls has to watch out for that, but it will stay with Union on the left side of the basket, inbounds with 8:44 remaining in the third quarter and 10 on the shot clock. Hammonds lobs out to White, zips over to Sandifer. Lob down low to Calvert, backing in the lane, 5 on the shot clock. Off of contact, gets the hook shot to rattle through. Logan Calvert with that physicality really has been there for the Union Bulldogs. 43-22. Make that 12 points for the freshman. Crockett was on her way into the basket. Long lob down low to Hash, almost lost the ball. Spins into the basket and gets the and one off the left block. 43-24, and Autumn Hash going to the free throw line. This will be her first trip of the night. Free throw, good. Old-fashioned three-point play executed to perfection. Meanwhile, that's Logan Calvert's second foul. A little over 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bluefield with their shot starting to fall, but Calvert with the step back too. Nothing but net again. Make that 14 points for the freshman, already showing herself to be a star. Lead is back to 20 for Union. Well, Bluefield really has to get those stops because the shots are starting to fall. Preservati almost with a step back, bounce down low to Hash, spins and picks up another foul in the lane, so she'll go to shoot two. Now, if they can get Logan Calvert in some sort of foul trouble, it will be tough for Union to really ice out this game, but instead Katrina Johnson picks up her second personal, team second. Ashley's first shot from the charity stripe bounces away. 45-25, clock is stopped at 7:48. Not Bluefield's game by a long shot as Autumn Hash swishes the second shot. 45-26. Here's White jogging across the timeline into the right wing. Steps back, dishes a pass down low to Calvert. Bounce back up top of the key to White. Zip over to Sandifer. From three, no good. Looking for a rebound and picked up by Hannah Preservati instead. Long pass to Deanna Cockett, just off of her wrist and went out of bounds. Ambitious effort by Hannah Preservati, but Crockett just couldn't haul it in. 45-26, third quarter, 7:26 on the game clock. Sandifer in the right wing, hoping for help. Lobs it back, top of the key to Sandifer. Zips it over to Katrina Johnson. Puts it on the deck, lobs back over to White, and a cross-court pass to Hammond. Pass to White, hard dish to Calvert, out of a double team, going up for two, followed her basket, didn't get it off the rim, 4 on the shot clock. Johnson hoping for help, lob at the buzzer, and picked out of the air by Autumn Hash. Great defense by Bluefield, really the brand that Corey Mullins stresses. Preservati finds Crockett, or Cox rather, towing down the baseline. Now finds Crockett, steps into a three, good, from the top of the perimeter, and it's 45-29. Tim Curry irate as he calls a timeout, and Bluefield showing signs of life with 6:43 remaining in the third quarter. (45-29) after the Tiana Crockett three from the freshman. 6:38 remaining. Union with the ball back, going right to left. White gets the ball back in the corner, lob down low to Calvert, finding Hammonds, but it goes right through her hands. And that would have been a good dish as Hammonds had an open look at the basket, but instead it's a Union turnover, and that's something that Bluefield actually is winning this game in. That is their 10th turnover for Union, and Bluefield only with 6. Preservati taking the ball right across midcourt, finding Cox. Lobs back to Hash and dish on the left side to Crockett, shaking her head, finds Preservati, looking for a step back, but instead gives it to Cox. Arcs a three and rattles it home again. 45-32. The lead is down to 14, rather, as that was just a 2 from Danae Cox. Looked like a 3, but Bluefield able to get a defensive stop on the other end as Preservati picked the ball away. Outlet to Cox, step towards the basket, missed layup. Bellinier, offensive board, but instead on the effort, just kicked the ball out of bounds. Lead is 14, 45-31. Stidham back in as well as Sydney Dishman for Union. 5:50 remaining in the third quarter. Hoping for help. Bluefield looking to make some stops in this third quarter. They've gotten it down to 14. The lead has been over 20 at points. As now Stidham takes the ball up with a little bit more intensity than Annalena White does. Hammonds on the left wing, returns it back to her point guard, hoping for a bounce down low, lobs it back over to Hammonds, towing down the right side of the baseline, bounces back out to Johnson, finds Stidham, steps into a tray, and sinks the three from the top of the key to make it 48, or rather 47-31. Had a foot on the line, and now it's a 16-point lead. 2 long twos taken consecutively. Cox for 3 from the corner, no good, and a bouncing rebound snared by Hammonds. She'll take the ball up even as a small forward, and a walk called on Sydney Dishman on the pump fake on the right corner. Could be a costly turnover for Union, but Bluefield really has to focus on capitalizing on those turnovers and getting an open, good look down at the other end. 47-31, 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bellinier now banging down the baseline, goes up for 2, too hard, back on her own rebound, on the putback, kiss off the glass to make it 47-33. 14-point lead. Here's Stidham going across midcourt. Bluefield's defense hoping for another stop. They've forced turnovers here in this third quarter to make it more interesting. Stidham over to Wilson, or Dishman rather. Now Katrina Johnson, cross-court lob over to Stidham. Finding Hammonds, lob to Calvert, step back and sinks it, nothing but net. Logan Calvert has been unstoppable. And now that wasn't even a tremendous look at the basket, but she still had the great follow-through and sank it nothing but net to make it 49-33. Preservati towing down the baseline, spins and returns it back out to Cox, who draws a foul on Stidham with 4:03 remaining in the third quarter. that's just the third team foul, her second. So Bluefield not in a bonus situation. 4:03 remaining third quarter. Emily Hart onto the floor for the first time in the second half. Preservati looking for a new offense as she has possession right near that Rams logo. The Rams going left to right in white jerseys. Here's Emily Hart towing around the perimeter, lobs it back to Preservati, zips to Goodlet, steps into a two, and the free throw shot does not fall. 49-33, 16-point lead for the Rams. Stidham cross-court pass over to Dinges. Bounce down low, hard step from Hammond, and the spin towards the basket converts for two. 51-33. Danae Cox chest pass to Belle Lanier. Physical, looking for the shot and gets it to fall. Belle Lanier starting to pick up offensively to make it 51-35, lead back down to 16. Here's Stidham angling the ball and zipping it over to Hammond. Overhead pass up top to Dishman. Now Dinges with a pump fake. Turns it back from the elbow. Shot falls for Hammond. Once again, the shooting mid-range has been hard to stop for Union. 53-35, the lead back to 18. Off the screen, Preservati turns it back top of the key to Cox. Dish on the right side to Goodlet. Long two, back iron, no good. Hart wrestling for a rebound and going for it, got it on a tie-up. Bluefield fans wanted Emily Hart to keep that ball, almost converted it to where she would throw it off of a Union player in the corner, but instead they call a timeout before, or tie-up before that. 2:45 remaining third quarter. Preservati with one finger in the air. Dishes it over to Goodlet. Now pass back to Preservati, top of the key with 2:40 remaining in the third quarter. Angles right off the screen onto the right block. Turns top of the key to Belle Lanier. Hard bounce, pop over to Goodlet, and a foul called offensively on Kiera Belle Lanier. Good job by Hammonds as she drew the charge with 2:34 remaining in the third quarter. Timeout called by Corey Mullins. 53-35, the lead is 18 for the Union Bulldogs here in the second half. .234 remaining third quarter. Out for the timeout from Corey Mullins. Bluefield getting back into it here in this third quarter. Now a quick stoppage of play as Nina White had to come onto the floor and wipe off some of the perspiration on the other end. Be an inbounds pass for Union off of the tie-up. Rams now shooting still 22%. And still trying to get the sweat off the floor, and play resumes. Here's Hammonds on the inbound. Finds Wilson with her first action of the second half. Here's Jenna Mills. Back up top to Stidham, taking the ball across midcourt. 2:25 remaining in the third quarter. Good defense from Hannah Preservati. Stidham angling right, steps back outside the perimeter. Dinges, hard pass on the right corner. Jenna Mills backing down the lane, gives it back to Dinges. Right wing, three, good. 56-35. Lead is at 21, the shots falling. Bluefield's defense has been tougher, you can tell, but still Union shooting lights out. So foul is called on Union as Danae Cox stepped into the lane. Substitution, Shekinah Huggins on. White back on for Union, as well as Skylar Bird. Huggins to the inbounder from the left side of the basket. Fresh shot clock for Bluefield. 2:02, lobs to Belle Lanier. Off a tip, bounces on the ground and blocked in the air. Belle Lanier picked up the loose ball over her head, passed it back in. Hauled in by Cox, who drew a foul. Well, Corey Mullins can't really applaud the grace of that play, but still he has to really commend his Rams for trying and hustling on that play. By the way, Bluefield in the bonus now as Danae Cox will shoot 2. That's the second foul called on Charisse Wilson. So Danae Cox trying to sink a free throw, steps into her first one and sinks it, nothing but net, to make it a 20-point deficit again at 56-36. Cox shoots, misses, going for her own rebound and can't get it as Wilson hauled it in. White taking the ball up with a 20-point lead, 1:45 remaining in the third quarter. Mills, cross-court pass over to White, zip in the corner, over to Skylar Bird. White back with it to offer back foot, finds Dinges, who misses the 3. Had her confidence there after missing or making her first one. Good on the right wing, backs back out, gives it back over to Danae Cox. On that right side of the fan. Cross-court live to Belle Lanier, towing down the baseline, goes up for 2 and misses for a rebound for Dinges with 1:20 remaining in the third quarter. 56-36, a 20-point lead for Union. Dinges on the right wing, picks up her dribble, looking for help, trying to find it, and gets it in Jenna Mills at the top of the key with 1:05 remaining. Back over to Bird on the right corner, returns it up top to Dinges. Around the horn, White for 3 from the corner, and gets it to fall. 59-36. And now the referee blowing the whistle, making sure substitutes get in. 56.6 remaining as another 3 falls. Under a minute in this third quarter. It has not been a great game by any means for Bluefield. A better third quarter as far as offense goes, but the Rams have not been able to stop Union. 49 seconds remaining now in the left wing. Turman feeding around the corner. Shekinah Huggins zip down low to Autumn Hash, or Turman rather, back out up top. Cox for 3, rims out, no good, rebound Wilson. 36 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Shot clock and game clock, about a 7-second differential between the two. Stidham taking the ball up for Union. Trying to milk this clock out. Lazy pass, intercepted by Danae Cox. Going down the floor, gets the layup to fall with a foul. Adding insult to injury, Danae Cox picking off Stidham's pass, gets the layup, and draws the foul, her third. That'll shut the shot clock off at 20.3 seconds remaining as Danae Cox can't complete the old-fashioned three-point play. It's 59-38 though. Lead cut down to 21. Taking the ball across midcourt. Here's Stidham into the right wing. 8 seconds left in the third quarter. Skylar Bird hoping for help. Back up top to Dinges. Hard pass, tipped and intercepted by Emily Hart from midcourt. Doesn't realize that she has no time left. Sank it at the buzzer, but it was after. So it's now 59-38 going into the fourth quarter. Emily Hart's shot did not count, and Bluefield will go into the last period of play down by 21.
Sometimes it's Papa John, sometimes it's not.
59-38, just about ready to start the fourth quarter of play in Bluefield. A large lead for Union. Bluefield with some optimism there in the third quarter, but a long hole or a deep hole to get themselves out of as a foul is called on Danae Cox off of hard defense on Stidham. First foul of the fourth quarter and her second of the game. Be an inbounds pass for Dinges. Pressuring the inbounds, Adrian Goodlet. Lob into Stidham, right in front of the Union College bench. Head coach Tim Curry in his 7th season has an intensity in this team that has not been shown for the rest of the season. 20 on the shot clock. Stidham angles it back out to Dinges on the left wing. 15 on the shot clock. Dinges picks up her dribble near the free throw line, hoping for help, and Skylar Bird, and instead almost poked away by Autumn Hash. Wilson hands it off back to Skylar Bird. 6 on the shot clock. Dinges stepping into a 3 and airballed it, going out of bounds, and it was kicked off of Shekinah Huggins. It must have nicked the rim because they will have a fresh shot clock. So that is a tough one for Bluefield to swallow. Now the referee's talking about it. Did it hit the rim or not? Huggins didn't argue. No, they're also trying to figure out, did it go off of possibly Jenna Mills or was it Shekinah Huggins? Right now, a fresh shot clock saying that it hit the rim. Referee talking with Tim Curry. Looked like an air ball from up here, but the ball was such a desperation 3. Now the referee's still talking about if it hit the rim or not. Now looking to see if it grazed the rim. 9-18. And unfortunately for these referees, you don't have any benefits of slow motion replay. Now we're going to try to see the clarification of this call. Either way, it's going to be Union ball, but you have to see how many seconds are left on the shot clock. Well, there's really no protest from the Bluefield end. And now brought on with 19 seconds on the shot clock. And folks, I do not understand how that can even be right because she shot it at the buzzer. Inbounds to Stidham, out to Dinges at the top of the key after that debacle. And a nonsensical solution. Here's Wilson backing into the lane, zips it back out up top to Mills. Hard step into the paint, and Adrian Goodlet wrestled the ball for a tie-up. Rams will have it after all of that deliberation. Bluefield just coming up with a defensive stop. 59-38. Here's Shekinah Huggins taking the ball across midcourt. 9 minutes remaining in the game for Bluefield. They are down 21. Hash with a chest pass back to Goodlet. Finds Hart. Hard pass down low to Hash after the dish. Backing out of a double team and kisses it off the glass to make it 59-40. Rams back within 20. It's 19 points as the deficit as Stidham shuffles her way into the left wing. Great defense by Danae Cox, but finding some help in Dinges. Pivoting around the top of the key, a dish down low to Wilson, backing in the paint. Back out up top, and a 3-second violation called on Therese Wilson. Preservati back into the game. After the turnover is forced, 8:27 remaining in the fourth quarter. Bounce pass in for Hannah Preservati. Bluefield with a long hill to climb. Danae Cox with the ball up on top. Lob down low to Autumn Hash, finding Hart. Around the horn, Preservati for 3. Too hard, tipped around under the basket, and a foul called on Autumn Hash. Hash in a bit of foul trouble. That's her 4th. She is still on the floor with 8:14 remaining in the game. Belle Lanier, the other big for Bluefield, also with a couple of fouls. Inbounds pass for Hammond, finding Stidham. Now taking the ball as Bluefield has kicked up a full court press. Danae Cox anchoring the pressure. Around the court and finding Stidham, finally getting across the timeline. Bounce down low and kicked by Autumn Hash on a pass intended for Logan Calvert. Now that 19-point lead almost seems insurmountable because of the looks that Union has been able to create for themselves in this entire game. Into the contest for the first time for Union, Caitlin Stidhams, the senior from Harlan, Kentucky. She'll inbounds it for the Bulldogs. Finding Mills on the left corner, feeds it back out up top to Hammonds. 15 on the shot clock, now under 8 minutes remaining in this game. Stidhams backs out near midcourt, 8 on the shot clock. Danae Cox hoping for great defense. Hands it off over to Katrina Johnson. Crossover dribble. Her layup contested, but a foul call down low on Danae Cox. Now the shot clock was down to 2 seconds, and Katrina Johnson in a bit of pain as she hit the court hard, favoring that knee. She has a brace on the left side. Third foul called on Danae Cox. Katrina Johnson will go back to the free throw line. Caitlin Stidhams with a quick word with Tim Curry for Union. And it will be a couple of free throws for Katrina Johnson. First one goes through to make it 60-40, the lead back to 20. And while that third foul called on Danae Cox, two of the bigger players for Bluefield as far as offensive production goes. Second free throw for Katrina Johnson, bouncing in after trip off the flange. So now 61-40. Emily Hart with it near midcourt and gives it back to Preservati. Going down the right side of the court, loops back out up top to Emily Hart. Pivoting around, Cox in the corner, down the baseline, crossover dribble, hoping for help, trying to split the double team, kicks back out to Hart. Long two, no good. Rebound Cox, tipped in the air, caught by Goodlet. Hart for three, no good. And a rebound for Autumn Hash, going up for the putback, and she is fouled. So if Tim Curry has anything to say about the second half of this game for Union, the shots have fallen, but Bluefield has really been able to amp up their aggression a little bit more. First shot for Hash goes straight through to make it 61-41. Lead is down to 20. Meanwhile, that's the third foul called on Brooke Hammonds. Taken off of the floor. Logan Calvert back on. 7:17 remaining. And the second shot doesn't go. Rebound Calvert on the left side of the basket. Bounces out to Stidhams, the senior point guard now. Stidham in foul trouble, as well as White. Backing on the left side, loops back out to Dinges in the corner. Good defense from Autumn Hash. Katrina Johnson lost the ball, and the loose ball was picked up by Autumn Hash. Here comes Hannah Preservati across midcourt. Long lob over to Danae Cox. Stutter step in the lane, and a foul called on her way to the basket on Caitlin Stidhams, her first. Second team foul in the fourth quarter. That'll stop the clock at 6:53. Inbounds pass coming up for Preservati. And a whistle for the referee before that. Going to restart the play. Preservati slaps the ball, ready to go. Loops into Emily Hart. Had to go to the floor to keep the ball alive, and does over to Preservati. Trapped in the corner, hoping for help. And a timeout called by Corey Mullins with 6:47 left to go in this game. Preservati able to get that desperation timeout, but the Rams down by 20 with the time running out here at the Dome. .647 remaining in the game. Bluefield off of the timeout with a long lob to Emily Hart. A pump fake gets past the defense on the right end. Pass over to Danae Cox. Step back three from the right wing and drills it home. 61-44. Danae Cox now with a total of 10 points. Hoping for a steal and getting it at midcourt from Hannah Preservati. 61-44 now the score is Danae Cox hoping for some sort of momentum. Loops out to Crockett. Her three, no good. Front rim, wrestling for the rebound. It's Caitlin Stidhams as well as Emily Hart in a tie-out called on the floor. So Danae Cox now in double figures with 16 points, leading the way for Bluefield. 61-44, the lead down to 17 with 6:17 remaining in the game. Calvert coming back on the front court to help get this ball across midcourt with Bluefield's Big press really being brought on. Lob down to Hammond on the left side, under the basket, swings it back out to Mills. Her lob up top of the key to Dinges has Union setting up a new offense with 10 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Really draining the ball down as Dinges, or rather Stidham's, backing into the lane. Going up at the buzzer, gets it off the rim, no good. Rebound for Emily Hartz. 5:40 remaining in the game. Hart loops it over to Preservati. Pump fake, steps into the lane. Bounce to Hart. Going up for two. Off the glass, no good. Rebound, Hart. Hook shot, got it. 61-46 now the score. Lead is down to 15. It's not over for Bluefield. Jenna Mills at the top of the key. Loops back out over to Stidham's. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 5:20 in this game. Stidham with a hard step. Loops it back over to Hammond. Him with the ball up on top. Loose player down low. Lob to Calvert. Spins into the paint. Her shot no good. Tipped to the air. And a foul called the other way on Union. Bluefield finding some energy late in the game. And we have seen this at times in this one, folks, where Bluefield has had a chance. Union found their open shots and converted. So the Rams hoping for a few more defensive stops and really trying to get those open shots to fall. Garabelle Lanier inbounding for Bluefield. Autumn Hash on, so Bluefield going with a little bit more size here with 5 minutes remaining in the game. Preservati over to Danae Cox. Kicks back out up top over to Autumn Hash. Lob in the left wing to Crockett. Preservati now with it at the top of the key. 16 on the shot clock. And an offensive foul called on Bluefield. That's on Garabelle Lanier, picking up another foul, and a costly one at that, with 4:51 remaining in the game. 61-46, 15-point lead. That's her fourth foul. Full court press still on. Dinges trading the ball around with Calvert. Outlets back out up top to Jenna Mills and gives it back to Stidham near midcourt, right in front of the press bench. 61-46, 16 seconds left on the shot clock. Look at the ball around the horn. Union has slowed down their offensive attack, but stolen by Danae Cox. Coast to coast, down the lane, layup falls, 61-48. The lead is down to 13. Rams defense starting to convert and make this one interesting here at the Dome. Off of her third steal today, Cox now with 18 points for the Rams and has cut this game down to a 13-point deficit with 4:25 remaining. Union back with possession, though, off of the timeout for the Bulldogs. 4:20 left to go in the game as Dinges crosses midcourt, hands it off back to Stidham. Bluefield has been down by as much as 23 in this game. In the corner, back out up top to Katrina Johnson. Cross-court lob to Stidham. Calvert for three. From the corner, no good. Rebound, Cox. Splitting through the defense. Bluefield going 4-on-1. Cox, Euro step, chucks up a layup, and draws a charge. Hannah Preservati upset with the call, as is Danae Cox. Dinges went down on the floor. And what a break. Looked like Danae Cox had plenty of players to throw it to, but now with Danae Cox, that's her fourth foul. 61-48 the score. Bluefield all fired up. Here's Stidham on the other end. Feeds it on the right corner to Dinges. Hard defense from Crockett. Lob top of the key to Katrina Johnson. pass in the left wing over to Stidham. 8 on the shot clock. Defense mirroring over by Danae Cox. Bounce down low to Calvert. Back into the paint. Almost lost the ball. No shot going, and a shot clock violation after it's stolen by Hannah Preservati. Bounce to Tiana Crockett. Almost lost the ball. 13-point game. 3:15 left in the game. Preservati looking for a screen. Instead backs out. Bluefield has to score and score fast. Off a screen, feeds it over to Crockett. Now gets her screen. Crockett, top of the key, feeding Cox, looking for 3. No good, swirling around the rim, and a foul called down low on Kiera Bellanier. That is her 5th and final foul. She is out of the game. 61-48. Well, that was a good play. Danae Cox had the 3. Needs to hit those if the Rams trying to get back into this game. So a little bit of size taken off of the court for Bluefield, as Bellanier has fouled out with 2:57 remaining. Down by 13. So Danae Cox now 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. Rams 4 of 21 as a whole. First shot for Katrina Johnson, bangs off the rim, no good. So the lead stays 13 for Union. Brooke Hammond back onto the floor. Kendall Cloninger brought in. And Tiana Crockett taken off of the floor after a little bit of hesitation on the substitution. Adrian Goodlet repositioned near midcourt. Second shot coming up for Johnson. Rebounders are there for Union. Second free throw. Bangs off the rim again. Rebound Cloninger. 61-48. 2:50 remaining in the game. Preservati backing out of the left wing. Top of the key. Angling down to the right block. Spins. Goes up for 2. And sinks it. On the floater, an 11-point game. 61-50, 2:40 remaining. Plenty of time, but the stops need to be there for Bluefield. Well, it looks like that Union philosophy has been able to slow down this ball game, but the shots have not been there. Sandifer into the lane, loops back out up top. Loose ball, picked up by Adrian Goodlet. Straight to the cup, lost it, and the layup can't fall, but she drew a foul. Oh, Goodlet just hurled that one up like a tornado, and then off of some contact went under the basket. It'll be 2 shots for the senior from New Kent, Virginia. Meanwhile, the first foul on Sandifer. A couple of crucial free throws. First, no good. 61-50 the score. 2:19 remaining in the game. Trying to make this a 10-point game. Second shot for Goodlet. Bangs home. 61-51. 10-point game. Taking the ball up on the near sideline. It's Hammonds. Spins towards the top of the key. Now hoping for help with the ball over her head. In the lane, Katrina Johnson needs help. And a 3-second violation called. Johnson backed into the paint, looked for help and couldn't find it in time. That'll stop the clock at 2:04. Emily Hart brought in as a substitute for Adrian Goodlet. More of a shooter. Goodlet is more of a defensive presence. Emily Hart passes into Preservati. A 10-point game. The lead was as high as 23 in the second quarter of this game. 1:50 remaining. Preservati passes over to Emily Hart, spins out of the defense, down the left side, hoping for help. Loops back out up top to Cox, puts it on the deck. Now to the basket, layup falls. For the minute 40, it's down to single digits, 61-53. Full court press really being ensued by the Bluefield College Rams. Stidham taking the ball across midcourt. Danae Cox is there. Lob over to Katrina Johnson in the right corner. Preservati with a hand near the ball. Johnson hooking, and that will be a foul on Bluefield. And Corey Mullins is pretty upset with that call. Looked to be a hook from his angle, but instead a foul called on Hannah Preservati. Her first, and what a time to have it. So now 2 shots for Katrina Johnson with an 8-point lead with a minute 19. First shot goes in. 60-53 62-53. The lead is 9. Johnson still eyeing the 10. Follows through and misses. Rebound for Emily Hart, wrestling near the basket. And the tie-up will go with Bluefield. Minute 17, a 9-point lead. Still a long hill to climb, but certainly possible. And really a commendable second half for the Rams. Pass into Hannah Preservati. The Rams have to score fast. Over to Danae Cox. Minute 10 remaining in the game. Here's Autumn Hash, powering her way down the lane, going up for a shot and foul with a minute 6 remaining in the game. That'll be 2 shots for Autumn Hash. Hash has been to the free throw line at times tonight. So far, 3 of 5. Bluefield shooting 10 of 18 from the charity stripe. And on the other end for Union, 14 of 16. It's not the best night at the free throw line for Bluefield. First shot for Hash. Goes in. 62-54. Eight-point lead for Union, trying to cut it to 7 here. Shoots for the second time and nails it. 62-55, 7-point lead. With 1 minute remaining. Hammond's at the top of the key. Bluefield looking for great defense here. Still a shot clock. Calvert at the top of the key. Loops it over on the left side to Dinges with an elbow. Backs into the lane. Feeds back top of the key for Calvert. 10 on the shot clock. 45 of the game clock. Calvert with a stutter step. Almost lost the ball and does. Picked away by Danae Cox. On a break, here comes Cox. Up to the basket and sinks the layup. 62-57. 5-point lead. Tim Curry looking like he wants a timeout but won't get one. There's about a 5-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Bluefield has to foul and does. Emily Hart picks up a foul as Dinges will go to the free throw line with 2 shots. Well, the lead was as much as 23. Rams have certainly fought back and made this a game. Dinges with her first free throw, nothing but net. Makes it once again a 6-point contest. Second shot. Well, she got them both. 64-57, a 7-point lead. Shot clock off. 20 seconds remaining of the game. Bluefield needs to take a 3. Preservati going down the floor and picks up, or draws a foul rather. Now Preservati will have 2 shots after the foul is called on Taylor Dinges. First shot for Preservati. Good. 64-58. The lead down to 6. 16.8 seconds remaining. In this contest, of course, we have a men's contest right after this. But now on the women's side. Second shot. Preservati able to hit both free throws. Timeout called by Corey Mullins. And we got ourselves a ball game at the Dome. Rams need a stop. It's 64-59.
You're the best, yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's on here. Yeah. I think I remembered it too, but it was like pretty cool. Yeah. Right.
Inbounds pass for Hammond. 64-59. 16 seconds remaining. And Bluefield immediately fouling Logan Calvert. Down by 5. Calvert already one of the players for Union in double figures. She has 16. She has done a good job at the free throw line already. 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. Meanwhile, that's the 5th foul on Autumn Hash. So if Bluefield is somehow able to send this into overtime, they'll be able to do it without Autumn Hash or Kara Bellanier. First shot for Logan Calvert. Nothing but net. 65-59. In a game that Bluefield trailed at times by 23 points. Back down to single digits. Calvert with her second shot. Got it. 66-59. Pass inbounds to Preservati. Gets a screen off Goodlett. Taking the ball across midcourt. On the right side. Feeds Cox. 10 on the game clock. Cox going up for 2. No good. Rebound for Union. Bluefield hoping for a foul. Still getting the ball around. Dinges finding Calvert. And that will be the ball game as Calvert takes the ball across midcourt. 66-59. What a game. Bluefield making it interesting in the second half, but falling to 7-7 and 4-5 in the AAC, while Union College gets back on the swing of things at 7-7 and now 4 or 5 in the AAC. Hard-fought game for the Rams, especially in the second half. Looking for a men's win in this second game of our doubleheader here on the Rams Digital Sports Network, but for the women's game, 66-59, Rams fall in a close one here in the Dome.